I am Thalia, your educational avatar. In this video, we're going to explore 3 powerful forces that are coming together to unlock remarkable new possibilities for learning, as described by Michael Fullan in his report, A Rich Seam. The first force is what he calls new pedagogies, new learning partnerships between teachers and students that arise when digital tools and resources become part of everyday learning. The second force is new change leadership, a dynamic blend of top-down, bottom-up, and sideways energy that makes educational change faster, more organic, and far more effective than past reform efforts. And the third force is new system economics, which is making these powerful learning tools and resources accessible and affordable for everyone. Together, these 3 forces are creating what Fullan calls a positive contagion, an unstoppable wave of change that, under the right conditions, spreads rapidly across schools and systems. Now, why does this matter so much? Because today's generation of young people faces enormous challenges. Too many students still find school boring or disconnected from real life. Education must once again become a pathway to meaning, opportunity, and contribution. Michael Fullan argues in his report that transformation is already happening. Across classrooms, schools, and even whole systems, we're seeing new pedagogies for deep learning, approaches that truly engage students in learning that matters. These new pedagogies aren't just about new teaching strategies. They're about powerful models of learning, driven by curiosity, creativity, and purpose, and accelerated by the smart use of digital tools. When students and teachers work together as true partners, learning becomes more natural, more motivating, and more relevant to the real world. Shown here is a schematic representation of what Michael Fullan describes as the old pedagogies. The focus is on the transmission of subject-specific knowledge by the teacher. The primary purpose of technology in this model is often to support the processing of subject matter content. According to Fullan, within the new pedagogies, pedagogical practice forms the foundation of a teacher's quality. It involves a combination of instructional strategies and skills that enable teachers to build learning partnerships with students, focusing on their own learning process. Technology is ubiquitous in this model and is used not only to enhance and process subject knowledge, but also to create and apply new knowledge in the real world. So what exactly is deep learning? Fullan describes it as the process of developing the abilities that young people need to thrive, the capacity to learn, to create, to do, and to make a real difference. Teachers and students are teaming up to make learning irresistibly engaging, tackling real-world problems, and using digital tools to create knowledge that connects directly to life beyond school. And here's the exciting part. These innovations are no longer limited to a few elite or lighthouse schools. More and more, ordinary schools are finding ways to make this happen by allowing and nurturing what's already emerging naturally. Digital access is freeing teaching and learning from rigid curricula, and new relationships between students and teachers are reshaping the culture of learning itself. Of course, achieving deep learning at scale isn't easy. Teachers need opportunities to build their professional capacity, to learn with and from one another, and to help students become lifelong learners. That means guiding students to master their own learning process, to reflect, assess, and choose strategies based on evidence and self-understanding. And this brings us to a crucial point: how we measure learning. If we want to know whether deep learning is really happening, we need ways to make learning progress visible. Today, This is done through 6 deep learning competencies that have been developed as rubrics to support both teachers and students. They are used to design and assess learning and to measure growth in the competency. These 6 deep learning competencies are character, building resilience, ethical action and responsibility, citizenship, developing global awareness and a sense of contribution, collaboration, working effectively with others, communication, expressing ideas clearly and respectfully, creativity, generating and applying new ideas, critical thinking, analyzing information and making meaning from it. Based on these 6 deep learning competencies, rubrics have been developed. This makes it possible to see growth in deep learning, not only in academic knowledge, but also in the broader skills and mindsets that prepare students for the future. They give teachers, students, and leaders a shared language for what powerful learning looks like, and for how to get there together. When teachers and students engage in deep learning partnerships, they set high expectations, reflect on progress, and celebrate growth through these 6 competencies. According to Fullan, it's a more personal, transparent process, one that equips students with the confidence and persistence to create real value in our complex, technology-driven world. The transformation of education systems is already underway, driven not by policy alone, but by the energy and creativity of teachers and students themselves. Leaders who foster collaboration and risk-taking cultures are helping this movement grow. Still, there are challenges ahead. Many systems are still tied to outdated assessment and accountability structures that don't yet reflect what deep learning really means. Change is never easy, but the odds for success have never been better. And the most important message of all is this: students and teachers aren't waiting for the future, they're already creating it today. For example, take a look at these inspiring examples. You can find the websites in the list of sources I consulted. The philosophy of new pedagogies for deep learning also aligns very well with the ideas outlined by Geert Biesta in his book, The Beautiful Risk of Education. In it, he discusses 3 domains that he sees as the purpose of education: qualification, socialization, and subjectification. According to Biesta, subjectification, also referred to as personal formation, is about wanting to do the right things for oneself, for others, and for the world. He also refers to this as world-oriented education, which is beautifully expressed in his statement, "The school is the world, and the world is the school." For the creation of this knowledge clip, I consulted the following sources. This concludes my explanation of the new pedagogies for deep learning, as described by Michael Fullan. I hope it has inspired you to make, together with your team, learning at your school even more meaningful. Thank you for watching, and see you in my next knowledge clip.